Hello YouTube, this is Morgan, Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So I'm just going to jump straight in here. There's a few things to cover. The first thing is just, hey, where is the free comic book day book for 2021? Why is it not available digitally yet? This is the question a lot of people have been asking me since the 14th, since the day of free comic book day. Why can't I read it yet? Well, the answer obviously is this. That Dark Horse on Twitter before the event said that the issues will also be available digitally later in August. So it's the 19th as I'm recording this, so I'm guessing they're waiting until more towards the end of the month to do that. As you can see, if you type in Free Comic Book Day on Dark Horse Digital, it is not yet available, but all of the other free issues, apart from the ones restricted by licensing issues, are pretty much here. So you can see like there's the two Korra ones, there's Shell, Sisters. Rebound isn't here because I'm guessing because that was tied in with a Star Wars comic, and Dark Horse don't have the Star Wars stuff anymore. That there's something there where they can't put that one out anymore themselves. But anyway. The point is, it's not yet available. As for why this is the case, I can only speculate, but I know that especially some places in the UK, it might be the entire UK, but I'm not sure, have been affected by shipping delays where they haven't got the free comics in ahead of the event. So a lot of places have had to reschedule their event until like later in the month. Forbidden Planet, which I think is like the main chain of comics stores in the UK, has sort of rescheduled its events until the 28th. So they might be waiting until the very end of the month, just so as many stores as possible can actually benefit from having a free comic book day. Because again, the point is to support the stores and help them, and putting the books up digitally before everyone has that opportunity, I guess, could affect things. But again, that is just speculation. Either way, I will let you guys know in one of these videos. I'll change the link on the review and stuff like that. I'll add the link in on my review like I said I would when it finally does go live, because as you can see, they do put the comics up officially and for free. But I get why people are very eager to read this book, because it is very, very good. So yeah, later in August, so within the next week or so, we should hopefully see this. So that's that. Now, for our usual update on the Avatar Legends role-playing game Kickstarter, there are 14 days to go, so we've passed the halfway point of the project. We have 51,000, nearly 52,000 backers, and as you can see there, it's still going up. So 5.5 million euro. But that is $6.42 million. So we're nearly at 6.5 million, and we're absolutely still on track for 7 or 8 and possibly higher, because we expect it will go up in the days following. So we need to cover basically the stretch goals that they've added since. So we hit the White Lotus tile. I covered this one before. Then they finally updated and added in the next 2 stretch goals. So at the 6 million mark, which we've now passed, virtual tabletop. So an Avatar Legends tabletop RPG companion app, a set of online support tools to help play the Avatar Legends role-playing game, including dice rolling, guided character creation, and campaign management. So basically a free app that you'll have access to give you some more digital support in playing the game. Seems really cool, a nice feature thing to do with it. We already have that, that's nice. And then 7 million is the next one that they added, and this is actually a kind of big one. Wan Shi Tong's Adventure Guide upgrades all 5 adventure booklets and all of the legends and playbooks unlocked during the campaign into an 8.5 inch by 11 inch hardcover book, alongside expanded content featuring Wan Shi Tong himself. So really, really cool. That basically is that tier on its own basically collects this sort of stuff. So the PDF playbooks, which are previously digital only, it also collects these smaller 30-page softback booklets, all of these together. So the Kyoshi one, the Roku one, the 5 that we have here, it collects them together with the details on how to play the NPC legend and the other character types, collects them into one hardcover book. So now if you're getting the physical stuff, you are getting 2 hardcover books, the core book, and now all the extra material is also in a hardcover. So that's really, really cool. And then they've added in the new aspect of this. It's not just collecting everything, is that they're also, I guess, adding in more information on Wan Shi Tong. I'll go to the update here too, because I think there's a slight bit of new information on this. So it says here, this supplement will have new material featuring the all-knowing spirit Wan Shi Tong and his incredible spirit library. What secrets will you discover among the tomes and scrolls kept by the elder spirit? What adventures will you undertake? Just remember, you must offer something to the library to take anything of value. So come prepared with knowledge he does not yet know. So the question here is, when they say this, is this just another sort of adventure setup? Or are they basically saying we'll have new sort of canon information about Wan Shi Tong? I'm guessing that we'll learn a few little bits, just because to tell a new story with him, we probably do need a little bit of extra information. But either way, this, I suppose, is... you could almost view it as almost like effectively like an extra adventure added in here of like, here's how you tell a story if you wanted to go to the library during your campaign, and so on. So that seems quite good as well. So yeah, and you know, I doubt that's going to be the last goal. We'll see what they do in that. They might stop doing them every million from now on. I think 8 million seems like it's pretty, like, for sure we're going to hit 8 million. Anything beyond that probably is maybe pushing it. You know, and then they won't want to put up a goal that they maybe think they maybe can't meet. Like, it would be cool if they did put up a 10 million goal for something really, really cool. But it's sort of like, we don't know for sure right now. It's very hard to predict if we'll actually get that far. So I think that's most of what I want to talk about here on the Kickstarter. Is there any new FAQ stuff? So yeah, you can add as many White Lotus tiles to your order as you like if you wish, so that's fine. So yeah, that's fine. I think, yeah, the only other thing would be the yeah, all gone. So the first wave of the Flying Bison tier, so this is where you get the deluxe stuff, because again they announced a few updates ago that that there's a sort of limited supply on the deluxe dice because of the material that they're made out of. So there was like 12,000 copies available for, you know, to ship with the first batch of everything. So that is now gone, and now there's the new sort of late shipping Flying Bison tier. There's also 12,000 available, but you're only going to get that, they're saying, in about July. So that's an interesting one. That at this stage, you know, if you want everything at the same time as everyone else, the $200 tier is sort of, you know, late shipping. That's the main idea of where everything is. And beyond that, I think that is more or less everything. Yeah, so it's just a case of, we've got, what, 2 weeks to go until the Kickstarter is over. We have not had a day yet where the campaign has made under 100,000. So, you know, we're for sure going to hit the next goal, and we'll see where we go from there. It will be exciting to see on the last day, the last kind of 2-3 days, just how much it does take an increase. But, you know, we have to wait until that to see what happens. And also, if you have funded it now, you have to remember that it's in 14 days. You may have pledged already. That's when the money will be taken, basically. You know, that's why it says it's all or nothing. The project will only be funded if it reaches its goal. It has met its goal, and so the payment comes out on the day it ends. So the last thing I just want to cover is that, because a lot of the news has been very focused on that Kickstarter or this and that, I think we've almost forgotten in a way that, like, oh yeah, what does the schedule of upcoming books actually look like? Because, you know, we're so focused, I think, a little bit now on, there's been a little bit of news about the Netflix live action show. We're still, like, every time we think about it, where's the next Avatar Studios news coming from? But it's still going to be a while until we get to there. So what's the next book stuff coming out? So let's go through it here. Because it's a bit weird. It's very interesting how, like, there's still 4 months left in the year, but there's so little of, I think, real interest left to come out. So one thing of actual good note is this: the 2022 Avatar Collector's Edition wall calendar is coming out on September 21st. It was delayed a little bit, but it seems to have stuck to this date, and at this stage I don't think it will be delayed. So the calendar with all the sort of Kyoshi artist art will be available, so that's going to be a pretty fun thing to see. And a calendar is always a useful item to have, and then an Avatar calendar, that's pretty cool. Also in September, on the 28th, we're going to be getting the Smoke and Shadow Omnibus, so that is pretty cool. Azula on the cover. Smoke and Shadow is a pretty good comic. But again, we know what the omnibus format is at this stage, so it is just a reprint for the most part. Also on the same day, Volume 2 of the Screen Comics. I reviewed Volume 1 on my channel. I will not be getting Volume 2 because we now know exactly what these are. They're just screen grabs from the show with some comic speech bubbles. There's nothing new or particularly interesting about these. But the second one is coming out, for anyone wondering. In October, we have the Kyoshi novel box set, which is going to be the 2 hardcover versions of the books in a box. We still don't have a proper picture because obviously this one's really weirdly, put together graphic-wise. So I'm still very hesitant about, like, I do want a second copy of each of these books, but if this is literally just the box that they're showing there, just the cover for one of the books, and the books are exactly the same, I'm not sure if this is exactly what I want. So I'm definitely holding off until we see a more accurate photo of what it's actually going to look like, and that might make my mind up for me. One of, I suppose, the slightly more interesting books is this one. On November 9th, the Avatar The Last Airbender official cookbook from Insight Editions. We obviously have the newer cover now and stuff like that. It's looking kind of pretty decent. We get a sense for what the sort of flavor text within the book is going to be like and so on. And look, this could be fun. I think this feels like a sort of ideal sort of Christmas present type thing to give to an Avatar fan or to ask for, where it's something where you might forget yourself that, oh yeah, there's a cookbook coming out. It's not really important content, but it might be something you like to have. Everyone eats, but maybe this is something that's not super on your radar. Could end up being pretty fun. Again, I'm still undecided on if I'm going to get it or not. I probably will end up ordering it, if not just to do a video on it so that you guys can know what exactly it's about. So we'll see about that. And before we get into the 2022 stuff, I'll cut over to the Korra stuff just because it's organized this way. So again, also in September, so there's a lot of stuff on September 28th if you look here. So we've got the Legend of Korra Art of the Animated Series Book 2 Spirits 2nd edition, so both the standard edition as well as the deluxe edition, so Book 2 art book reprint with the new cover coming out on the 28th. So that means there's quite a few things coming out on the 28th. 21st is the calendar, the 28th is Smoke and Shadow, the 28th is also volume 2 of this, and it's also the date for the Book 2 Spirits book here. And then that's it for Korra stuff. Like, this is like the art books have been the only Korra content for quite a while at this point. So it highlights the sort of gaps within the release schedules of like, we haven't seen Korra content in quite a while, like new Korra content. So we'll cut back over here for the 2022 stuff. So 8th of February is when we'll finally get some new content here. Avatar The Last Airbender, Chibi's Volume 1, Aang's Unfreezing Day. So it's been heavily delayed, and it's now coming out February 8th, 2022. We still don't know a lot about this with regards to when it says Chibi's, is that just the art style it's going for, but it's actually still a canon story? Or is it going to be sort of Chibi canon, where the story will be free to do everything as crazy as possible, like we've seen before in the Chibi shorts? That's what I'm kind of waiting to see on. It's only going to be 48 pages. They have not announced Volume 2 yet, so that is also something we are waiting for. Preview pages have not come out yet, but I'm guessing we will see before the end of the year. So that will be interesting to see. That probably should tell us if this is canon or not. But for now, it's just a very forgettable new release. That because we don't have a new Avatar comic announced yet to follow up Suki Alone, this technically is the follow-up in terms of new content, and we're just going down and down in terms of the quality overall. But anyway, then comes probably the most exciting new book on the horizon, and that is Beast of the Four Nations, Creatures from Avatar and Korra. Again, it's available as standard book and deluxe edition. So this is the mysterious sixth book that's part of the deluxe set. You will need to pick up this book to complete your deluxe set. So that's pretty cool. But again, this is also a book that we know very, very little about. Other than, like, it's obviously going to be a guidebook. It's going to be full detail stuff about, you know, what's going on with the animals and so on, but they're not making it super clear on exactly, like, is there new art in here, is there going to be new information, new animals, what exactly is it and what is it not. So the other interesting thing about this book is that Dark Horse have yet to, like, officially acknowledge that this book has been announced. I don't think I've ever seen them post about this yet on social media to note that, like, hey, it's available for pre-order or anything like that. Not to say that it hasn't been announced yet, because it's on the listings on, like, every book website at this point. But officially, for a kind of big book coming out, you'd think they would have hyped it up a little bit more. Now, the release date changed a few times before it settled here in February, but it still is interesting that there's been no news article. You'd think that a book like this probably would have been one to be revealed by, like, an IGN or a Comic Book Resources, but we did just find this in comic solicitations and on websites. So interesting one. I'm hoping that what that maybe means is that when they do get around to showing off preview pages, hopefully earlier than usual because it's a big book, that there is a big deal made about it, because this theoretically, you know, it is the biggest book we've had in quite a while, I think, if it delivers in the way we sort of hope it does. But anyway, yeah, we've got that 22nd of February. Also on the 22nd of February, Avatar: The Last Airbender North and South Omnibus. So the last of the Team Gurihuru and Jean Yang Avatar comics, the fifth one here, that should complete the spine image across the omnibuses, is coming out in the same day. So the 22nd of February is going to be a relatively expensive day, and you can sort of see, like, the interesting things that they tend to do with the release schedules. A lot of stuff ends up going like this, where there'll be no books for months and then 2 books in the same day. Like, both of these are out in the same day. Just like a week or two beforehand, we have the Chibi comic, all in February. And then before this, the big thing is, like, there's a decent amount of stuff out in September. This plus the Korra book 2, and you've got this and this from other publishers. So, you know, it highlights that, yeah, they're a little, you know, all over the place, where we'll have nothing for a very long time and then everything at once. And especially because, say, like, this and Beasts have been heavily delayed, it's interesting that their dates have settled right next to this book, which has had this date since it's been announced. On the Korra side of things, we have Legend of Korra Art of the Animated Series Book 3. So the Book 3 art book and deluxe edition is the 15th of February. So again, February, massive month. Save up your money for February, because if you're buying the deluxe editions, you are going to have 2 deluxe editions to buy. You're going to have the Chibi comic like the week before that, and you're going to have Beast of the Four Nations and the North and South Omnibus. So a lot of stuff going on that you know, again, could this not have been spread out a little bit more? Can we not have a book in January? Could we not have had a book in December? Why is everything in September and February, basically? But it has been a bit now since there has been a new book announced. this is the most recent book to get like actually properly announced, the book 3 stuff. But again, the date is February, and that highlights that as of like a month and a bit ago, I suppose Solicitation's new books are up to February. Now, the fact that we've skipped a month probably means that there's maybe no book in March, so we're looking for like new books to be announced for April, May, June, July, by the time we finish off the year. And hopefully that means the long-awaited third Korra comic might finally get announced, whatever they're doing with it. They might finally announce the new novel that's coming out, and hopefully as well what the proper follow-up for like Suki Alone is, in terms of are they sticking with one-shot comics or not. So I just wanted to spend a bit of time here and just go through to make it clear again. Here's what we have, because, you know, we're all hyped for the future with a lot of these other projects happening. But for the next like 6 or so months, it's pretty standard, I think, outside of Beasts of the Four Nations being something pretty exciting. But the hype, I suppose, is more going to be around that. Our expectations would be that within the next 6 months, we will learn a lot about the future of publishing in comics, novels, everything, as well as hopefully get our first proper big piece of information on Avatar Studios, because even Avatar Studios, even though there's been little mentions here and there, in that Mike and Brian mentioned in an interview, one of the high-ups at Nickelodeon mentions it in an interview, there's really been no news about Avatar Studios properly since the initial announcement. It's still that same talking point. It's that logo, the promise of more Avatar. Movie's going to be the first project. There's going to be lots of different projects, and the scopes are going to be, you know, a little bit all over the place. Like, there's still vague information, not a lot of specifics, and we're hoping to get that clarified as we go forward. Realistically, the next, I suppose, main opportunity to do a big announcement is going to be New York Comic Con, which I think timeline-wise will work out a little bit better. But again, will it be just us getting our hopes up again and nothing will happen? I'm not sure. But that has been the video. In the comments, let me know what your thoughts are on how the role-playing game is doing with some of the new stretch goals, and what your thoughts are on, I suppose, just the schedule of books that we have released and where you think we'll get the next sort of big announcements. But that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.